Whatever we do, even if it's something that causes problems, follows an overarching general meta strategy, a life survival rule. And often we're not aware of the survival rule that's guiding our choices. Stay tuned to learn more about what's behind the problem you're working on at the moment. Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Becoming an Expert at Self-Leadership. I'm Maika, I'm a psychologist, and today I want to talk about survival rules. Not in the Boy Girl Scout wilderness survival kind of way, although I could show you how to set up a tent thanks to my dad. I want to talk about unspoken rules that we've learned to follow to keep our life together, even if it causes us problems. This is helpful to reflect because unless we think about it, we're not aware of our own personal individual survival rules. They're just there guiding our behavior, choices, and if they're not effective and healthy, they can cause problems for our emotional balance, relationships, behavior, health, and ability to pursue and reach goals. Our survival rules form in childhood, depending on the experiences we make, the expectations we are approached with, and the behavior we see modeled by the adults in our life or other children, peers. And that's why we're not aware of them in daily life. They formed partly even before we can remember. We don't know another way. Our survival rules have been guiding us for our whole life. They don't even seem like acquired patterns to us. They seem like laws of life, like this is just the way things are. But our survival rules don't represent reality. They represent one possible way of going through life. And that's why it's so powerful to reflect them, because it shows us that we can choose different guidelines and self-leadership strategies, ones that don't cause problems. Survival rules have the following structure. Only if I always fill in the blank with a do and never fill in the blank with a don't, I can experience fill in the blank with a value, something that you want, and avoid fill in the blank with something you don't want, something uncomfortable. So it consists of a do, a don't, a value you want to protect, and something uncomfortable that you want to avoid. For example, only if I always stay in a productive mode and never stop getting things done, I can experience safety and security and avoid uncertainty. Or only if I always do what others expect of me and never turn to my inner voice for guidance, I can experience being loved and accepted and avoid being abandoned, alone, rejected. What makes these kinds of survival rules unhealthy and unhelpful is that they're unbalanced. They push you to protect one value, need, goal, or aspect of your life at the cost of another value, goal, need, or area of life. They tell you to protect your relationships at the cost of fully being or becoming who you are as an individual. They tell you to protect your autonomy at the cost of experiencing connection and emotional intimacy with other people. They tell you to be in control, powerful, and successful at the cost of your mental and physical health. They tell you to avoid discomfort at the cost of doing what matters to you. Next, I want to help you figure out which survival rule is behind whatever you're working on at the moment. You might want to press pause and get paper and pencil or open your notes app so that you can fill in the blank for your individual personal survival rule. Step 1, what is your difficult behavior? What is it that you want to unlearn or do less of or balance out with something else? This is the first part of the survival rule, a rule about something you should always do. I'll read some common ones. While I read these, see which one is most relevant to you right now. Only if I always focus on sensing and getting other people's needs met. Fit in. Achieve perfection. Procrastinate. Stay busy. Stay quiet and withdrawn. Draw a lot of attention onto myself. Fight for power and control. Test the love of my significant other. Make sure everyone else is happy with me. Stay childlike. Distract myself from my inner world. Stay at a distance and uncommitted. Choose the easy or comfortable option. Step 2, what is it you're not allowed to do? This is the second part of the survival rule, something you're never ever allowed to do. Common ways this part can go is never take a break. Never listen to what my inner voice is saying. Never take care of or express my needs. Never show my feelings or share my thoughts. Never stand out. Never make a mistake. Never disappoint someone or say no. Never do something if I don't feel like it in that moment. Never accommodate someone else's needs. Never trust another person. Never show weakness or vulnerability. Never act spontaneously. Never address a conflict. Never take a risk. Never take up responsibility and accountability. Never allow emotional intimacy and closeness in relationships. Step 3, what do you want to protect? Now the question is, what do you want to protect, keep intact, maintain through these rules of what you always have to do and are never allowed to do? Is it control, safety, security, stability, power, self-esteem, self-respect, self-acceptance, affection, love, belonging, acceptance, attention, appreciation, autonomy, independence, self-expression, pleasure, comfort, or something else? Step 4, what do you want to avoid? The last part of the survival rule expresses what you're afraid of happening and what you want to avoid. What could this be for you? Is it being left or rejected? Loneliness? Getting criticized or corrected? Having to fulfill another person's expectations? Dependency? Discomfort? Unpleasurable feelings, sensations, emotions? Disappointment? Failure? Uncertainty, or something else? Now put the survival rule that's fueling your problems together. Only if I always, this is what you wrote down in step 1, and never, this is what you wrote down in step 2. I can experience your answer in step 3 and avoid your answer in step 4. This is the survival rule that guides your choices and behavior throughout all kinds of different situations in a very general way. Now that you see your survival rule written out in front of you, what are its benefits and what are its costs? How could you rephrase this so that it becomes a healthy, balanced, guiding principle that allows you to include what's been missing so far and let go of the problems that are created through this survival rule? Many of our problems come from survival rules that are ineffective and unbalanced, and that we're often not even aware of. Once we become aware of them, we can let go of what's holding us back and allow ourselves to relax and fall into healthier guiding principles for our self-leadership. What have you observed, learned, and experienced connected to survival rules? I'd love to know, as well as I'm sure everybody else here, so let us know. If you're new here, consider subscribing to learn more about self-leadership. You can also check out my weekly self-leadership newsletter at the link below and subscribe on my webpage. Till next time, take care, and remember, when you understand what you're trying to protect and avoid and what you're doing and not doing to achieve that, you understand yourself better and can then start building healthier self-leadership strategies.